Your suppressed memories, trauma, emotions are keeping you in a state of depression and oppression. When you do not dig it up, and I know the whole thing about this is, no, but I don't want to go back there. I don't want to have to look at this. I know you don't want to have to look at this. Look at me. I've had to go back and look at the fact that I was 9 years old, had my boundaries violated, my vulnerability violated by a primary caregiver. Of course, no one wants to look at this. You're totally normal, and I don't want to look at it. But here's the thing. It's suppressed. It's something that you're not dealing with that's lying underneath the surface. And wherever you're at in your journey of going back, I always think back to this movie, The Way Back, with Steve Carell, and it's a blended family situation, and this kid is like, I'm going back, and like jumps out of the car and like runs back to the park or home or someplace, and they're about to move or something at the end of the movie. I've only seen it once, but this is the practice you have to adopt. You are not going back and reliving the pain. You are going back and setting it free. Okay? So anything suppressed in your system, in your mind, is keeping you in a state of oppression and is enabling you are now developing a cognitive behavior of depression. You're staying in a depressed state. The longer that suppressed stuff stays stagnant. So here's what you can do to break this up. You can break up stagnancy. Okay, so how this will look is introducing the things that you are very, very interested in into your life, into your day-to-day, into your life. So only do the things, that's the key here. Only do the things that interest you, that are of a higher vibration of that place of stagnancy. This is key. This is the critical part about this, because there's going to be a lot of things that interest you. And most likely, this is the trick. This is how you have to trick your mind out of doing this. You are going to like the things that are comfortable, that make you feel safe, okay? By doing that, so this could be as simple as a TV series. You've been watching the same series over and over again, and you'll come back to it years and years and years again. I'm not saying you can't rewatch The Office or Modern Family. By all means. But what I'm saying is, if you're not spurring on curiosity to experience newness, you're keeping your brain and your subconscious mind in a stagnant place. And that's the number one thing, that stagnancy, kind of back to my last video, that space of neutrality. It's not safe for your brain. It is not safe for your brain to be in neutral, and it's not safe to be in stagnancy. Because when things are stagnant, you might experience some stagnancy, that's fine. But the point is that by keeping yourself stagnant, not looking at the suppressed emotions, trauma, the stuff beneath the surface of memories, you're just kind of here. You're just kind of here. You're not doing anything. You're not growing. You're probably doing things. I'm sure you're doing things. I've been doing things. In my journey, I was doing things, but working towards something, being a part of something that was bigger than me, I was stay away. That's where I've been. And I'm sure you can resonate with this. You want to stay away because your trauma is saying, if I'm a part of something bigger than myself, I'm going to get hurt again. That's why you have to go back. So you can also think of it like this. If you know embroidery, my best friend, she gifted me some embroidery some birds to embroider. and I messed up the stitch the first time I tried working on this several years ago, actually, and it's just been sitting in my craft bin ever since. And I'm just like, oh, that's why it was so frustrating, because I was making the stitch wrong. I was trying to make a chain stitch. So here's what a chain stitch is. A chain stitch, you, from the back of your fabric, you bring the needle through. You have to go back down through the same hole you made in order to create a loop. And that loop is what is used to create the chain. And that's what's used to secure it in the fabric. And you keep going through this motion, repeating this motion so that you can create the chain. But if you create a hole next to it, you're not going to get the chain look. Like, you might get it close to looking like it, but it's not going to be as secure as it could be if you go straight back through the same loop. You following? I think these visuals really help a lot of people. I know that for me in my journey, visualizing things and having a clear picture of what it really looks like, you know, metaphorically, makes it click in my brain a whole lot more. And I know if you're here following me, your brain is probably very similar to mine. And so it's a chain stitch that you're trying to make. And if you know, you can do it a different way, but that's not going to get you the chain. That's the whole thing. And that's why, my friends, you have to go back. You have to go back. Physically, you could go back physically in some senses, which I've done. And I've had that help me a lot, because going back, when you go back physically, you get to show up for the person that was let down, that was harmed, you know, whatever happened to you at that physical location. For me, they were walks. So I went back to where I walked when I was 15, and I went back to where I walked when I was 9, when I ran away from home. So going back and walking these walks as an adult woman, and as the woman who is saying, yeah, that was, no, just no, that wasn't okay. It reframes everything. And it brings you into your humanity a bit more. It brings you back into yourself. And this is why it does it. It brings you into yourself because you're actually saying and admitting to yourself that what happened did indeed happen, and you're accepting it. And this, my friends, is the number one thing. It's showing up authentically with yourself that is going to heal you the most. Because what is it, this video called? The external mirrors the internal. Everything that's going on beneath the surface is going to show up externally in your life. So if you are struggling with reactivity, you're struggling with lack of focus, you're struggling with depression, you know, you're struggling with suppressed memories, that shows up externally as a depressed state of living. You following? I hope so. It all shows up externally. And that's where you find yourself unhappy, because you're seeing that your external situation is not at all what you were wanting internally. And that's the whole thing. You have to go work at the other stuff that is limiting you. So I hope this helps. If you want further help on your journey, you can work with me. I have a few options for you. I have Amplify Your Voice, a 6-week program that's designed to use music, verbalizing, doing voice journaling as I've been talking here. I give you the prompts to connect with yourself as well as connecting with others. The more you do, the better. The more results you'll see and transformation you'll see in your life. And you can also work with me one-on-one coaching. And I have a 12-week program set up for you that can be expanded if you want. But I would love to help you find your voice, because I know I know how it feels to not be seen and to not be heard, and how isolating this is for you. You don't have to stay isolated. You just gotta believe in yourself. That's it. You have to believe that you can have a better external reality, and you have to show up and do the work of the internal so that you can see the results of that external. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment your thoughts. I would love to connect with you, and see you soon.